Welcome to another lesson in our series on how to get a passing score on a high-stakes math test. We're going to work through another example from the Praxis practice test. So this example is from the ETS Praxis sample test, which you can find online. And this question says, if x and y are even numbers and z equals 2x squared plus 4y squared, then the greatest even number that must be a divisor of z is what? Now that sounds pretty complicated, and there is no thing you should know for how to do this. This you just have to reason out. So we're going to walk through how to reason your way through this. So let's think about, what do we know? We know z equals two numbers added together. If we didn't know that, if they just asked us z is some unknown number, what is the largest even number that goes into it, there'd be no way to know the answer. So those two numbers that add together to make z, those are critical to answering this problem. They're asking us for the largest even number that divides z. They also told us that x and y are even. And this shows up a lot in high-stakes math tests. Whenever they tell you a number is even, that means you can rewrite that number as 2 times something. And so that's probably what we want to do. The largest even number that divides z has to divide both of the numbers that add together to make z. So remember, this is the problem. We're looking for the largest even number that's a divisor of z. Whenever you're told that a number is even, that means you can write it as 2 times something, and it usually means that you need to write it as 2 times something in order to solve the problem. That's why they told us these numbers are even. So we can rewrite x as 2n, where n is just some number. But x is even, so we know it's 2 times something. And y is also even, so we know it's 2 times something. Something else, probably, so we use m for it. And then x squared is really 2n squared. And we have to square both the 2 and the n. And y squared is really 2m squared. And to simplify that, you have to square both the 2 and the m. Well, when you simplify 2 squared, that's 4. So we want to write x squared as 4n squared, and y squared is 4m squared. So there's the original problem. And we know we can replace x squared with 4n squared, and we can replace y squared with 4m squared. And that gives us 2 times 4 for 8 on the first term, and 4 times 4 for 16 on the second term. And then the question is, what's the largest even number that divides z, which means it divides both those numbers? Well, for sure, the largest even number that divides both of them is 8. You know, possibly there's a bigger number depending on what n and m are, but we don't know what they are. So the one that must be a divisor is 8. Well, it took me almost 5 minutes to explain this problem, but if you know what to look for, you should be able to do this problem in a minute or less. The word even should jump out at you. If you have the word even in a test question, that means the number has a 2 in it, and you could probably solve the problem by rewriting the number as 2 times something. So x and y are both even, so you know they both have 2's in them. So x squared is really 4 times something. You don't care about the something. So that first term there is 2 times 4 something, which is 8. And the next term is 4 times 4 something, which you don't care about. So you've got an 8 and a 16. And that's all you need to know to solve this problem. And the greatest even number that divides both 8 and 16 is 8.